bang up to date with everything going on inside and outside of Old Trafford. And it is another 3 points for Michael Carrick. Another 3 points in the right direction towards Champions League qualification. We have beaten Brentford by 2-1 at Old Trafford. A goal for Benjamin Sesko. Another goal for Mr. Casemiro. And, of course, another assist for Bruno Fernandes. Joining me to go through it, of course, is Angelina Kelly. And Crookie has decided that he's so excited by the win, he's going to join us in the studio in person. Woo! Yes, Crookie. How's it feel to be live here in person with us?
It's nice. It's nice. I missed you guys.
Aww.
Yeah, not enough to show up more regularly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As always, this show is sponsored by BetMGM. You can download the app or visit betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus, gamble aware, and please gamble responsibly. Big win, Crookie. Big win. Like, there's been loads made about, performances this, performances that. But listen, it was a big win, some big performances from some big individuals, and just what we needed after the last home game where we were absolutely awful against Leeds and lost. We need to put that right.
Yeah, and listen, it's the business end of the season. You know, you're not always going to win pretty, but it's all about putting the points on the board. Look at Arsenal against Newcastle the weekend, Man City in the FA Cup semi-final, Chelsea grinding their way to victory against Leeds. This is when you need your big players to turn up. They did, as you say, Bruno, another assist, Casemiro continuing what's been quite a magical farewell tour, and Benjamin Sesko, I think quietly has had an excellent season, particularly since Michael Carrick came in. It's pretty much job done now, isn't it? I mean, mathematically, we're not there yet, but it would need Brighton to win every game and United not to get another point between now and the end of the season to not qualify for the Champions League. I think when the previous manager was relieved of his duties, we would have all settled for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was that previous manager?
He's still sticking to it, honestly. You got to admire him. He's consistent.
Yeah, true.
Bruno Fernandes, 19 assists in counting.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest.
Bruno Fernandes, the Player of the Year.
The PFA Player of the Year elect is doing PFA Player of the Year things.
Yeah.
A fantastic assist for Benjamin Sesko. A lot of people are sort of comically kind of laughing at the fact that he ain't shooting anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. I'm locking
he wants
in
it. Yeah.
for assists. But what a season and just what a player.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's just the gift that keeps on giving, Bruno Fernandes, isn't he? I think he's got to get that record, hasn't he? Yeah. He needs what? 2 more?
2 more, yeah.
4 games?
1 more to equal it, and then 2 more to actually surpass it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen 100%. But yeah, again, at the heart of everything good that Manchester United are doing, I know that we've gone back and forth and we have had this debate. He is the player of the season for me, and I don't think it has to be that you've won the league, because we've seen it happen before. There's been plenty of seasons that the player of the year hasn't been from the team that won. We've seen Salah do it, De Bruyne, Luis Suarez, Gareth Bale. So I just think it's worth a conversation. And I know that people will have their favourites and people will argue it, but yeah, he's just been absolutely sublime. And I know that there's a lot of talk about the summer and what is going to happen and where we need recruitment, etc., and what the future holds for him. I'm just hoping that the powers that be are kind of sitting him down and saying, do you remember last summer when we were like, if you want to go, it's okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, they need to be very, very nice to Bruno Fernandes, I think, because it clearly hurt him.
Yeah.
I think they've got to show him a little bit of love.
You've got to remember as well, for the first half of the season, he was being played as a holding midfield player.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
still putting up them numbers.
And you look at his form since he got put in his proper position, and he never complained, in fairness, about having to play deeper. You look at the fact it's unlocked Kobbie Mainoo, it was brilliant last night.
Yeah.
It's a really basic change that Michael Carrick has made, but one that we were all crying out for.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Bruno so special for me is, listen, he's chosen to be here in our worst moments. He's chosen to be at the club. He just loves the club and wants to achieve those things with us. He's had opportunities to leave. He's not taken it. It's obviously not about money. And I think somebody who performs that consistently in spite of what's going on around him.
And he's never injured.
Well. Always available and just puts numbers on the board. And I think he's a dying breed of number 10. I think we're seeing, when he sort of came to fruition, there was a big crop of number 10s that were really, just behind the striker at all times. Everything goes through them chief creators. I think the way the game's going now, we're seeing a lot of 2 8s and a 6, and not really a purist 10 who's just the orchestrator of everything. So he's a bit of a dying breed in that respect. But he's also a dying breed in terms of how consistent he is in that area of the pitch. There's not any other attacking midfielders putting up these type of numbers this consistently, and I just think he has to stay. I think he will stay. I don't think there's too much.
You can't lose him and Casemiro.
Absolutely not. And Bruno, listen, I'm fed up with defending him. And I'm talking about even for some of our own fans. Some of our own fans have been
Anil,
stupid
cough.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I wasn't even going to mention.
Yeah.
He should not be named like that.
Yeah.
But no, I love Anil. But yeah, I just don't understand how people don't understand how good Bruno Fernandes actually is, and just use that. Well, what? You finished 15th though. He can't be that good, or he hasn't won anything at Man United. He can't. If Roy Keane played in this team last year, still would have finished 15th.
Yeah.
Roy Keane with his incredibly high standards and going after everybody. You know, if Paul Scholes played in the team that Bruno did last year under Amorim, stinking the joint out, we would have finished 15th. So this notion that he's a victim of basically being born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And not playing in the right Man United team that we had so many years ago. So I thought he was excellent.
Can I check something out there? You're talking about PFA Player of the Year, Football Writers Player of the Year, potentially. Let's go a step further. What happens if Portugal win the World Cup? Because they've got some good players, you know. I mean,
They do.
not the best manager in the world, it has to be said. But if Portugal win the World Cup, are we looking at a potential Ballon d'Or winner?
I mean,
Bruno Fernandes.
do I think that he would win the Ballon d'Or? I'm not sure, but would he be like in your top 10 or in the conversation? 100%. But that's got to be. Portugal would have to win the World Cup, and this form would have to continue, and he'd have to be like firing on all cylinders.
And as much as I love him, the problem you've got there is Champions League as well. Like he's obviously we've had no Champions League run because we ain't been anywhere near it. And you kind of need to have a culmination of all of those things, unless you're like Messi, when like he was at in Miami, and still managed to win the World Cup and do some great things. So I probably not, but I saw Paul Pogba on an interview with Rio this week. He was saying if Bruno Fernandes played for City and had all the accolades, he'd be top 3 player in the Ballon d'Or conversation. 100%. And I do agree with that. If Bruno had the Premier Leagues and the Champions Leagues to go with what his performance
he'd be in the conversation.
He'd be in the conversation. And if De Bruyne was playing for Man United now, in the time that Bruno's been playing and putting up the similar numbers, well, this is how you get talked about. Clearly, where people go, he's good, but he's not that good.
Yeah,
it just shows that
it would be nice to see. Like we say, there's other names that you look at that would be winning the Ballon d'Or more than likely, but for his name to just be in the mix would be nice, and I think he deserves it.
Maybe next year. And
what if United win the Champions League?
Yeah, exactly. Maguire was back into the back line. I think it was it's just so much better with him playing. I mean, I don't know. On one side you look at it, Angie, and you go, "God, it's 2026," and we're like, "When's Maguire coming back? When's Maguire coming back?"
Yeah, it's weird.
But conversely, though, Aiden Heaven played again, and I'm telling you, man, this kid for £1.5 million, I think he's gonna end. It's already been a bargain with what we've got out of him. But again, he looked assured, he looked composed. So on one hand, we are a bit like, oh, it's 2026 and you got Maguire, but actually the future's bright with Lenny Yoro, who needs to keep progressing, but definitely with Aiden Heaven. Brilliant.
Yeah, 100%. And I think after his last performance, we were all saying that he should have been in the mix for this game, and I'm glad that he was. I mean, I guess with Lenny Yoro, he's been playing more games this season. I think that the confidence thing is massive, and I think he's just been rocked a couple of times and made some silly mistakes. And it'd be interesting to, not that I'd want Aiden Heaven to make mistakes, but if he'd have been doing that, maybe he'd have been in a similar situation. But he's not. He's playing absolutely brilliantly, and I mean, we've got Harry Maguire and Aiden Heaven duo maybe for next season. Who knows? We still need at least one centre-back. Oh, yeah, definitely. I know there are reports that Man United are happy to go with the 5 that we've got because we've got, but there's a lot of injuries. Yeah, I mean, Matthias de Ligt has gone missing. He was actually doing all right, but he's gone missing. Lenny Yoro still needs time. Aiden Heaven, if we're being completely honest, still does need time. He's not in a position to be starting every single game, in my opinion. You look at the fullbacks as well. There's issues there. So you could argue that they wouldn't sign four defenders, but you could argue that every single one of that back four needs either a replacement or a backup. Yeah. How do you see the
the centre-back partnerships at the minute.
I think you're right. They need a bit more depth. They probably need a bit more depth in all areas.
Minus the goalkeeper, I think every single area you can argue. Can't
Yeah, but even there,
Even
I think
there.
you need a backup option because the thought of an Anana coming back to the football club is absolutely terrifying.
Is that still what's going on with that?
I think he'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely won't stay there. He'll go on
Him and Marcus Rashford both returning.
Yeah, certainly that seems to be the direction of travel. You could see it as a bargaining tool from Barcelona to, I think, get him on loan for another year, and then maybe an option to buy or an obligation to buy at the end of the season. But I don't see either of those players being reintegrated. I think the club have moved on from both of them. But in terms of depth, I'm a little bit surprised that we're not showing more interest in Marcus Senesi down at Bournemouth. Yeah. Available on a free transfer, proven in the Premier League. Chelsea had a look. Tottenham, I think, have got a pre-contract agreement if they stay up. And just in terms of a body, I think that would be a useful acquisition.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we spoke about that after, obviously, you were ill last show. I think after you'd left, I think we spoke about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think you look at some of the Forest centre-backs as well, could be good options. But I agree. I mean, if you're a footballer, you're looking at like Spurs, Man United, you know which one that you'd like to go with. So, maybe another reason why, everyone will want, Spurs to go down, because then if that pre-contract agreement goes out the window, then we're sorted.
Getting deals, organised, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore.
Exactly.
let them do all the legwork.
Yeah,
and we'll just come in at the
A
end.
proper football club comes in. I think this is why the managerial situation needs resolving, and obviously I took a vow not to really comment on Michael Carrick until the back end of the season. I'm going to break that vow now. I think he's done enough. He's beaten City, he's beaten Arsenal, he's beaten Villa, he's beaten Chelsea. Hopefully he's going to beat Liverpool at the weekend. That's all the teams in and around us at the top end of the table. What more can he really do? I think he showed his tactical nous last night by changing the game, going to a back three, making it less of a ding-dong affair. Right, maybe it wasn't pretty in the second half, but it got the job done. And in terms of recruitment, it's obviously going to help the earlier the club make that decision, the better, because it needs to be part of those conversations. Players who potentially are weighing up between United and other clubs want to know who the manager's going to be. Yeah. So I don't think he's been perfect. I don't think the performances have been perfect, but I think he's earned a shot at the permanent gig.
I agree. In light of yesterday, we've been talking about it before we started this show, and I cannot understand the discourse in our fan base. I don't know what's wrong with us. We don't know what we want. Off the back of Michael Carrick's recent games and Man United's recent games, some of the performances have been a bit questionable in parts. But it's about results right now. I think we forget where we're coming from. We were coming from the last guy, Ruben Amorim, right, where we were getting one win a month. We were finishing 15th, and we were almost...
That game under Amorim last night would have lost.
100%. And there were so many people around that time in the fan base that were saying, you got to get comfortable for a rebuild. You got to have the stomach for it. It takes time. And listen,
patience.
I'm including myself until we got to a point where we were saying to
listen. While someone's your manager, you've got to try and see the positive.
But what I'm saying is, we were losing every week, and we were in a position. Even if I'm not digging them people out, we were in a position where we're losing every week. Can't buy a win. Can't get back-to-back wins. We couldn't even win 2 games in a row. And we're like, time, be patient, this, that, and the other.
You got a patience.
We bring in an interim manager who doesn't have the luxury that Ruben needed. Remember when Ruben needed players to buy in the summer, needs a pre-season, needs time. Michael Carrick doesn't need any of that, but he's an interim manager just until the end of the season. He's come in and got more points than anybody else in the period that he's been in. Yeah. He's beat them teams that Crook just said. He's played 13 games, won 9, drawn 2, and lost 2. But now as Man United fans, we're going, we're winning a bit too often here. Don't really like the performances. And when you look at our squad, we all say our squad is not fit for purpose. We all say what we're going to do when we got more than 1 game a week. We all say, my goodness, if Casemiro gets injured, oh my God, we've got to play Ugarte. Record's terrible with him playing. Oh my goodness, if we get an injury to a fullback, who have we got? Oh my goodness, Cunha's out. Ahmad's not playing very well. What have we got? The squad is not even fit for purpose. And we talk about it every single week. And he's oozing every drop out of the squad and getting positive results. And some Man United fans are going, yeah, we're winning, but you know what? No. And then he's tactically not good enough. Well, okay, the game was like a basketball match last night. You guys watched it. It was end to end. And yes, we were on the right side of that basketball scoreline, right? Dangerous game to play. Halftime goes, that's not sustainable. Let's just take the sting out of this. Let's go to a back three at home. Might not look pretty, but it's the business end of the schedule. We need to get points on the board. We just lost the last game at home to Leeds. We can't lose again tonight. Let's put it right. Sees the game out. All right, they score a wonder strike. Jensen from about 25 yards right in the corner. Unbelievable strike. But the game was nowhere near as frantic as it was in the first half. You get over the line, get the points on the board, and people are like, yeah, you're back 5 at home to Brentford. For me, it's 70% recruitment, 30% manager. That's where we're at now. We have to get our recruitment right. And before we put ourselves in a way where we're discussing level of performance, we need to build with a manager first and get to a certain stage. If Carrick had been there a year and a bit, got his players under the rug, thrown some players out, bought some new players in, had time to work, and we've become a semi-decent team again, then I'm comfortable saying, right, we are winning, but we need to start winning like this. We need to start doing this. We're forgetting where we're coming from. 15th, losing in the Europa League final to an awful goal, to the worst goal you'll ever see in a final. That's where we was in May.
We'd have all taken like 9th or 10th.
Oh my goodness! If I said I'm not going to tell you who the manager is, right? I'm gonna blindfold you. But what I'm going to do is, before we've kicked a ball against City, which was Carrick's first game, I'm not going to tell you who the manager is, but I'm going to tell you in 13 games, going to win 9, draw 2. And lose 2, and you're going to more points than anyone. You're going to be 3rd in the Premier League.
You take it.
If Iriola did that, give him the job. If Glasner did that, we'd give him the job.
Well, it's another point actually. Is he suffering, Michael Carrick? A, because he's a former United player, and I think you always judge your own a little bit harsher. I think Scott McTominay suffered from that. We probably only appreciated him when he gone. Is he suffering because he's not sexy? He's not a big name foreign manager. He's not Thomas Tuchel. He's not Julian Nagelsmann. Is he suffering because we had our fingers burnt with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And I know he's actually spoke openly about that and doesn't want the parallels to be drawn. So I think there's a few reasons why some United fans are of this mindset, and maybe the club. Do you know what gives me confidence if they appoint him? I keep being told that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not absolutely convinced. If he doesn't think it's a good idea, give him a contract.
And it's a great idea.
Give him a contract.
Yeah.
Give him the deal. And listen, I
agree.
That.
Yeah.
Do you think Carrick should be getting a job, or are you still a bit on the fence?
I think for me, the options aren't incredible. Like, who are the other options? There's no standout candidates. I know that Roy Keane was suggesting Eddie Howe. I know that you're a big Eddie Howe fan, Crook, but I do feel like the way that he has struggled to balance Champions League football with Premier League football with Newcastle, that's a little bit of a red flag for me. I think that on one hand, Michael Carrick deserves the chance to be the permanent Manchester United manager, and we deserve to have the pre-season. We deserve for it to be announced at the end of this season, to have the pre-season, have the season. And if things go wrong, I think that's the difficult bit of how you handle it. Do you cut the cord versus doing something like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation where he stayed too long, if we're all being honest, or you replace him with a more experienced manager who I don't know who is out there, really. You replace him, that person struggles to adapt, they don't understand the Man United identity, and then the powers that be get criticised. But and listen, I'm all for criticising the powers that be when needed, but it's, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Why have you done that? There was no need to change things. Things were going well. And I think you look at the options. Luis Enrique, reports are that he's probably going to sign a new deal with PSG, I'd imagine. But even then, he's going to want top dollar. You look at Thomas Tuchel, you look at Julian Nagelsmann. We said it on the show the other week. The day of the World Cup final, Manchester United have got their first pre-season game the next day. So again, how is that going to work? And then you've got people like Andoni Iraola. He's well liked. But you look at the Thomas Frank situation at Spurs, and I know we're very different from Spurs, but you've got a manager who seemed to be doing well in their kind of area of the table, have gone to a club you can argue is bigger, and has struggled. I don't think, for me, Iraola, I don't really think has the personality. Again, I don't know him personally, but it just doesn't seem like the right fit for me. Do I look at him and think that he can really take us to that next level? I'm not too sure. So for me, what's the other option?
Yeah, I look, we are, as a fan base, we are nervous. We have got a bit of PTSD. We are looking to sort of like kind of eliminate any risk with the decision. Like, let's get someone better. Let's get someone big in it. Doesn't come with a guarantee. Nothing we do comes with a guarantee. No. So I think it's better to go with the person who's been in post for the last 4 months, 5 months, and try to build something from there. I'm not naive enough to think that, we're going to win the Premier League next year. Yeah. I'm not naive enough to think that we don't have problems in the squad, issues with some of the performances. Absolutely. But when it's said and done, people are acting like they would rather see us play a lot better right now but not get the results. I guarantee you, if we had the same amount of games but half the amount of wins, but we played on the front foot and looked more attractive, but got 6 more draws and subsequently were battling to get top 5 because we were like 2 points off 6th, the feeling would be completely different. It would be, definitely can't get him out my football club. We just don't know what we want. And I just think every manager has to start somewhere. You have to get a first job. You have to, not that it's his first job, he's been in management, but you got
the players want him as well, because didn't Amad Diallo do an interview where he was like,
the players are always going to be behind him. Yeah, I think the players are, yeah.
But he didn't have to say that, did he? The fact that he said we want him to get the job, he's clearly well liked by the majority of the players, I would imagine. I don't know about you, I've not heard anything that he's had bust-ups or fallouts or anything like that. And I think going into this new season, we all expect certain clubs are going to be levelling up because a lot of clubs have not been performing the way that you would expect. So I just think this, and it's that phrase I've probably used it a million times, this whole steadying of the ship coming into this season, which is going to be a big test because Liverpool's going to want to level up, Chelsea are going to want to level up, Newcastle are going to want to try to level up. Like, there's so many different clubs that are going to want to really take a step up and be like, that was rubbish last season. Yeah. We need to do better. I just think coming into this new season strong, where we know who the manager is, we've managed to recruit players because they're aware, not that they want to play for Michael Carrick necessarily, but they know who the manager is. They trust him. They've seen what happened in this, final stage of the season and the good work that he's done. I just think it all kind of it fits in, and it's important to consider.
They don't need to overcommit. Listen, give him a 2-year deal.
Yeah, but if it's not going well,
then saying
The thing is, it's a bit of a myth, right? Even if they give him a 5-year deal,
he'll be gone if the results aren't good enough,
and there'll be a break clause. Yeah, people saying Liam Rossini was paid 24 million quid for Chelsea. Nonsense. He got a year's salary, 4 million. All right, it's not bad for work. However, all contracts now at the top level, unless you are Luis Enrique or Thomas Tuchel, they're going to have a break clause. Yeah. So the reality is it's a 1-year rolling contract, however they dress it up.
Yeah, and people can say what they want exactly about, we believe in this guy and we were planning for the future. If results, and this is why it's all about results, if results are bad, you'll lose your job. If results are good, you should keep your job. Yeah. I just think it's or get a job. Well, it's so simple.
But even some of the options, I mean, like we've spoken before, like, Thomas Tuchel's a name that everyone, is interested in. He's obviously committed to England. The only way that that's going to go south is if he does a terrible job with England and he gets the sack, and then do you want him? And it's the same with someone like, Julian Nagelsmann, for example. So it's kind of, I just stand by the fact, if somebody can give me a name that is doable, that is realistic.
Like I said, since his arrival at the start of his second stint, match day 22 was, Man United have won more Premier League points than any other side. That's it. Like, again, people want to put the caveats in, but you're not in Europe, you're not in the FA Cup, you're not balancing this. We're just moving the goalposts.
Don't matter, you can only deal with what's in front of you.
You can only do with what's in front of you. What's the reward?
And it ain't Carrick's fault that we're in no cups.
Exactly. It's not exactly that happened. We were out of everything before we got there. What do you want him to do? Yeah. He hasn't. It's not like that's such a good point. Yeah, it's not like he couldn't manage a squad and he's failed. We don't even know.
It was Darren Fletcher that was, and fair enough, but it was that was
the Brighton game.
That was on him, that Brighton game, and Grimsby was.
But it works. It works both ways. Obviously, it's helped keep players fresh that they're not playing midweek football. They're not playing in the FA Cup. But also, it does stifle momentum. Yeah. When there's such a long gap in between
games. We've seen that. We've seen us look like tepid in and not starting. I think
Mason Mount mentioned that, I think, during kind of like the dark times under Ruben Amorim. I think he said, when you have a poor performance or things maybe don't 100% go to plan, as a footballer, you want to be able to fix it immediately and you want to have a game a few days later to be able to just switch it around. So even if it's a good game and you want to carry on building that momentum, or it's not the best performance and you want to try and fix it, having games closer together, I think for for the mentality of the players is important.
Yeah.
Is there not something to be said for control as well? Because you go back to, even the highs under the previous manager, it's just been the anniversary of that Lyon game. I mean...
Excellent commentary, Crook.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but
amazing.
That was a ridiculous game.
Yeah. Basketball game. We're 2-0 up. They had 10 men.
Yeah. And whoever we were
never been in that
whoever
position.
we were playing previously, and I remember, we did a show before Grimsby, and I said to you, this is dodgy.
Yeah, and I said it's a sackable offence.
You thought I was taking the mick, but every game I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I wasn't a nervous wreck last night. Sat at the awards watching on my phone.
Yeah.
Even though it was quite open in the first half, I always felt quite comfortable that we would win the game. That's quite a nice feeling to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's better the devil excuse the pun, but he's in situ. I think there's so much bigger issues to fix if you've got a bit of an antidote for the manager with a safe pair of hands. This recruitment thing, I'm telling you, because forget who the manager is. If Jason Wilcox, Vivell, Barada, all the guys that are in charge of recruitment at Man United, if they don't smash it out of the ballpark in this summer, forget it.
You've got to give them a bit of credit for what they did last summer.
100%. Exactly, 100%.
It's got to be that, rinse and repeat,
100%. And they need to go one further because people are forgetting just how much surgery the squad needs. Casemiro is leaving the football club, right? To replace him, that leaves us at par. So that's not an extra body to deal with the extra games. It's par. Ugarte's not good enough. He's going to leave. But that's keeping the squad as it is. Xerxes probably going to leave. Malacia. So that's keeping the squad as is. Yeah. We need more quality. We need more numbers. The squad, rightly so, we reduced in size because we had one game a week or no Europe. So for me, that's why I'm saying it's about recruitment.
And recruiting from within the Premier League,
yes.
I think was a recipe for success last season. And obviously, the midfield targets are well documented. I'm coming around to the idea of Alex Scott at Bournemouth. I think he's a terrific player, and he's not going to cost.
On as well.
He's not going to cost 100 million quid like Elliot Anderson is. I've said all along. I think Elliot Anderson will end up at Man City. So I think they'll buy one big hitter in midfield, be that a Belieber probably. Again, Adam Wharton I think will end up at Liverpool. But then a slightly cheaper option, and I think Alex Scott ticks a lot of those boxes.
Yeah, well, let's move on to some of the big topics regarding transfers, actually, because we are starting to get towards that stage now. The rumours are rife. Everybody knows Manchester United are looking to rebuild the midfield department and other positions as well. Left back's been mentioned, forward's been mentioned, left wing has been mentioned, etc., etc. How do you see it in terms of the business of the summer? You just touched on it there in terms of one marquee. Other positions, any names been mentioned, and more so positions they're looking to home in on. I've seen a few reports, I think from the Telegraph, sort of saying, I think it was James Ducker, sort of saying Man United want to go with those same 5 centre-backs. We sort of said, probably need one more.
We saw the
top end of the pitch.
Links as well. We talked about last
many
week.
links we spoke about. Haaland's notched up, 20-odd goals at Napoli, doing really well. Don't see him coming back, but they're going to... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Angelina
No
made their mind up there.
No problem whatsoever.
Benjamin Sesko's done well, but he's going to need support.
He is going to need support, yeah. I mean, most of the names I've heard have been in that midfield position. Obviously, we spoke about the Tchouameni link last time out, which United certainly haven't poured cold water on. I did the story at the weekend. They were interested in Edison at Atalanta, which again would be a slightly cheaper option. I've not heard I haven't heard of any potential striker stroke left back targets, because I think we need a left back as well. Luke Shaw went off, looked like he was carrying an injury again in the second half last night. 4 games off a record for himself of starting every Premier League game he is. Yeah, but he's not going to be able to start every Premier League game and play every Champions League game as well. So obviously Dorgu is back in the squad. Is he a left back? Is he a left winger?
We don't know under Michael Carrick, really.
It's hard because we've not seen it, have we? We just got that little taste of it, and then obviously he unfortunately got injured. So where's he actually going to fit? Because if he can suddenly be a very, very good left back, then it's not as much pressure. But if he's as terrible as he was at left back, because as much as further up the field he was great, I'll give him that. He wasn't a good left back, so it's figuring that out.
Well, he hasn't actually played left back for us. He played left.
Well, yeah, sorry, left wing back.
Maybe left back might suit him a little bit more. Who knows? Crookie, for you, how many players do you think Man United buy? Because versus what we need. We bought 4.
Should they buy? Yeah. And how many do you think?
I think the intention is around 4, maybe 5, but I think they need 7 or 8.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you agree with that?
100%. I think when you're looking at Šeško, definitely you would like another striker. I guess the saving grace is that we do have other players up front who can dip into that position if needed. But you look at, Ahmad hasn't had the best second half of the season. I think since he's come back from AFCON, he's not been at his best. But Ahmad, when he is firing on all cylinders, so you're looking at those options up front, and it is more encouraging. But I also wouldn't be mad if they got someone in those areas. But yeah, midfield, in a perfect world, you need at least 3. In a perfect world, you need at least 3, and like I say, I think that you need at least 1 full-back, if not 2, and you need at least 1 more centre-back, if not 2.
Agreed.
So
we basically need everything.
Yeah.
We need everything. There has been some noise about Rafael Leao and Ederson being available. Like you did mention from Atalanta. What were you hearing about those two? Could we see some surprises there?
Well, again, my sources at Old Trafford didn't put me off the scent when it came to Ederson. Rafael Leao, I'm not convinced on that one, to be honest. I think that's probably agent-led.
He's been a weird one, Rafael Leao, because he's so talented, but you're waiting for him to kind of explode into this like ball of consistency, and you don't really see it, but there's something in there, and you're thinking, does he need another move to reinvigorate himself? Maybe step out of.
Let him move somewhere else where he's someone else's problem, and then if he's all right, we'll have him. Because that's the one thing you cannot be risking it. Like, this summer is huge because we cannot go into this new season with Champions League football. Obviously, the league phase, I personally like the league phase. I think it makes things quite interesting. You can argue it might make things easier in order to get through.
We ain't even played in it yet.
Yeah, well, exactly. We don't
did
even
in
know.
Europa League, but not in Champions League.
We don't even know.
Last time we was in that, we finished bottom of the group because Onana kept throwing the ball in.
Exactly. So, but yeah, but we cannot be an embarrassment in that. I'm not saying that we'll win the Champions League, but we can't be embarrassing ourselves back in the Champions League after being out.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's such a good point, because that last Champions League run, what was it? Galatasaray, Copenhagen, and Bayern, I think it was. And Onana away at Bayern, I remember that. Just awful. Just we were doing all right first 20 minutes, throws the ball in the back of the net. You got the one at Galatasaray, Ziyech does the free kick, just thought he throws it in the net. What was the one back at Old Trafford? He fouled Icardi. Oh no, he threw the ball out, and then Casemiro had to take Icardi down. Red card. Copenhagen, I think we were a couple goals up.
Terrible Champions League.
Honestly, just so bad. And it's like, I don't want to think too far ahead, because we obviously got to get over the line, make sure we do get Champions League football, which we pretty much have. But it's like, you don't want it to be like, finally get there, and then like these 8 games, and then we don't even get out of the groups, or don't even get out of the league phase. Don't finish in the top 24. Well, obviously you want to finish top 8. You don't even want to play that
isn't going to happen.
Playoff.
Tottenham.
They finished 4th, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But maybe everyone gets better next year. But that's my vision of like, that's why the squad.
Why the recruitment is so important, and having this squad depth. And it's like you say, it's not like you go into the new season being like, oh well, we're going to get a domestic treble or something like that. But you just want to be competing well on all fronts. That's what we need, and in order to do that, we're going to need players. And I guess I don't know what the outgoings will mean and how much money we'll be able to kind of get from certain players. I'm not too sure, but it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I agree. Big summer ahead. In one hand, it's gonna be really exciting to see how it plays out, because I want to know who we get. We're gonna get a lot of players. It has to be a big summer. But on the other hand, I'm really nervous because I just don't know if I trust us to get what we need.
We've got a great summer. We've got the World Cup. And then in the midst of it all, United are going to be signing all these amazing players.
Well, they got the deals in place relatively early last summer. I know the Mbuma one took a while to get over the line, but they were always quite confident that would get done. I think I reported on Cunha as early as April. And even Sonny Lemons was a target all summer. Again, they left it until quite late in the window because the Portuguese guy was messing around with his keepers. But I would expect them to do business early.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the game ahead. It's none other than Liverpool. Don't come any bigger than that.
Yep.
That's the biggest game of our...
When was the last time we did the double over Liverpool in a season?
Oof, that's a great question. I thought Ange might have that in her notes. That's the sort of thing you'd possess.
I know.
I'm not sure. Maybe the producer could just stick it in there.
You've probably got to go back to Fergie days, haven't you?
But yeah, I'm going to say ages ago. Probably since Sir Alex left, I don't think we've done a double over them. I'll be quite comfortable in saying that. Doesn't feel like we have anyway.
Yeah.
But we did have the chance.
Yeah,
it'd be a statement. And you talk about Carrick again, like you say, adding that into the bag, beating Liverpool on top of Chelsea, Arsenal, City. Liverpool, have they been resurgent? They've been up and down. They're coming to a bit of better form, definitely.
Still needed their keeper against Palace.
Yeah, it wasn't a plain sailing game. That game could have been 2-2. It could have been a draw. Then the margins just went their way.
No Salah, which is a relief.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Do you know what? Part of me was like, I want him to play only because I want him to play. So it's like, we beat you with him.
Yeah.
See you later, mate. You ain't scoring today.
I mean, I'm just happy because this record against United, I'm just glad to see the back of him. I don't care. Yeah, he has a good record against pretty much every team, minus this season. But fans of every side, every team are probably thinking, oh, thank God we've not got to deal with him again. But yeah, no, sad that he's injured. If you put in your Premier League hat on, shame that he's injured. Great player, like in a bit. But as a United fan, good. I'm glad because I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I thought of it from a neutral perspective of like, I don't want to see him go out where his hamstring's done and that's he doesn't get to play for Liverpool again. But listen, in terms of him not playing at Old Trafford,
we need to take what we can get.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. But I don't know, the cynic in me was like, no, Michael Carrick's good. We're good now.
So we'll be able to
I want you to play. I'll be honest. I wanted him to play, and I want Luke Shaw to lock him up. Yeah. I want him to not have a kick. We're on him. We're fouling him. We're pushing him. Yeah, exactly that. So it's like, yeah, you came with Salah in your swan song in your last year. Sent packing, bro. See you later. You didn't score. You're on the losing team. Yeah. Bye, tatty, bye. But that's why I wanted him to play, I'll be honest. But when I get cocky like that, usually something bad happens. So let's just take that. The last double was actually the 15-16 season.
Oh, there you go.
With Van Gaal.
Okay,
actually.
Fair play.
Big up Van Gaal. Okay. Put respect on his name. Crookie, we don't need to talk up the magnitude of this game. Is this the closest the two teams have been in ages then? Because usually when we play Liverpool, last year they were the winners. Look at the table, there's 3 points behind, 1 place behind, 3 points behind.
1 goal worse off than you.
1 goal worse off. And actually, when you look at this all-time rubbish Liverpool season that they've had, which is way off the standards they've set as champions.
Well, I think a lot of them,
after all of that, they're only 3 points off us.
A lot of their fans need to give themselves a header wobble as well. You're trying to hound out a manager who won the title last year with all the circumstances they've had in terms of big name players getting serious injuries, in terms of what happened with Jota in the summer and the tragedy that engulfed them at the start of the season. I think Arne Slot has earned the right to carry on, and I don't think Liverpool fans have been particularly fair to him. But in terms of this game, there's an expectation we don't lose, and we can't have said that too often going into games against Liverpool. And do you know what? The Champions League should be done now. It's going to take a freak set of circumstances not to finish in the top 5.
Yeah. So we can kind of focus
But it'd be a bit disappointing, I think, if we didn't lock up third place.
Yeah.
And if we do win at the weekend, that's another team that probably aren't going to catch us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I been talking to some of my United friends about this, about do you care about sort of limping over the line, or do you care about the optics of fourth, third? All right, we might finish fourth, but this, that, no. But he was like, no, we've been third for so long, actually.
It's a mentality thing. Like you wanna finish the season strong, I think. But listen, I think we're in. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're in an okay position in that, like, Isak scored his first goal since returning from the injury. Against Palace, still don't look 100%. He's still obviously very talented, but he'll be the main goal threat because, like we say, Salah's out, Ekitike's injured. So I think when you look at that sense of where the goals are going to come from for them, I do think that we've got a chance, and I think, they might dominate the ball in this game, but to an extent, their issue this season is that they aren't very good at actually breaking teams down, I would say. So I don't know if we do something similar to like the Manchester derby.
I was going to say,
sit a little bit deeper, use the pace of Mbeumo and everyone to get behind. I don't know, but I think that I just want to see us go for it because I think we've got a chance.
I think absolutely Liverpool are there for the taking. This is an even game or slightly.
Slot hates set pieces. Whack a few of them in.
All the things blocks, they don't like, we can do.
Yeah.
All the things they tell us they don't like, we can do.
Listen, Bruno. Imagine if Bruno
breaks the record.
Amazing. Gets 2 assists in that game.
Why can't he? Why can't he? And listen,
that'd be good.
It's always a difficult game against Liverpool. You can never take them lightly. They're Liverpool.
No,
they've got a lot of quality, but. It's at home.
Yeah.
Be on the front foot. The crowd's going to be up for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The players, I think that lack of intensity in some games or lack of control can kind of go out the window in these games. But the big games at home, we're there for. Even in our worst moments, like we always, Liverpool at home, we always give them a. Do you know what I'm saying? We're ready. We're ready. I would like to feel that. Listen, we've had some awful nights against Liverpool. We've been battered and stuffed and embarrassed, and I feel like. We're starting to turn a little bit of a corner of their distant memories, I would like to say.
Yeah, we're not a total laughing stock.
Do you know what I mean? Which it used to be. It's a dread playing them. You know what time it is, home and away.
Didn't even want to watch it.
Didn't want to watch it. And now it's like, last year we nearly beat them with Ruben at Anfield. Got the 2-2. This year we did beat them at Anfield. Last year we got smashed under Ten Hag, 3-0. Liverpool,
it's nice to
Liverpool.
Just be looking forward to like one of the biggest games of our season
and being in it and being knowing that we can
against
stick
like
it
one
on
of your biggest rivals and actually thinking we could actually walk away from this with some good memories and moments.
I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, he's got the bit between his teeth now. He's playing unbelievably well, mate. There's a lot of shouts saying forget getting on the plane. He might need to be starting for England, mate. The way he's moving right now, mate. He was.
I think it's too little, too late. I would like to see him on the plane, but
Oh no, definitely get on a plane.
I don't know.
What? No.
I'm not saying that. I would want him to go, but I just don't know if Tuchel's seen enough of him.
I think he's seeing him in his perfect light now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Against Chelsea, he was excellent. Last night, if he has a good performance against Liverpool, which I'm expecting him to do, he just looks so confident. He's coming to the back four, he's saying, give me it. He's pushing players off, he's travelling with the ball. I just think Thomas Tuchel's a good football guy. I think he'll look at him and go, even if the performances are indifferent, I need him.
You know what? I would love to sit down with the old manager and just, if I had one question, what on earth were you thinking when it came to Kobbie Mainoo? Because make no bones about it, if it wasn't for the managerial change, he would be
gone.
He would be at best, he'd be out on loan somewhere right now.
Yeah.
At worst, they'd have probably sold him.
Yeah. And this misconception that he can't run or he can't, it's how you set the team up. He's winning duels, he's winning tackles. He's getting in people's faces. He takes the ball, he can dictate the ball, manipulate the ball. He's just super talented. He needs to be partnered with the right guys. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to have a big say in this Liverpool game. And Casemiro. Guys, I said it to you.
Well, he's had a few nightmares against Liverpool.
He has.
So maybe this
but
might
not
be
this time.
It's his last
not
chance
this time. The guy's in tears
staying.
almost every game.
Yeah.
I said, speak to Mrs. Casemiro. I said, let's have a conversation. They're saying 1 more year. Did you see him last night? He's kissing the badge. He loves us, Ange.
Carrick shot that down, though, didn't he, in the press?
Yeah.
He said
He said the chapter's closed.
No, the kids aren't doing the SATs in the UK. I'm sorry for that. I know. I understand.
He loves us. He only does big clubs.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to a small club yet, Cass. You can still stay.
Have a word with him to take a pay cut and we'll be all right.
Just don't get it, man. I just want him to stay. But anyway, I want him to have a big say in this Liverpool game. Sign out on a high in the last sort of big match for United, because the rest of
a goal would be nice. A goal.
It would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, now it's time for our bet builder with BetMGM. Remember, you can download the app or you can head over to betmgm.co.uk. And Man United taking on our arch nemesis rivals Liverpool at Old Trafford. What you got?
Yep. So I've got Man United to win it full time, obviously.
Love that.
Without a doubt. Over 2.5 goals for Manchester United. Liverpool have kept 1 clean sheet in the last 7 games. There's usually goals at Old Trafford too, so going to go with that. And over 5.5 total corners for Man United. Arne Slot, as I said, he loves to have a moan about set pieces earlier this season, so I say let's give him something to worry about. If he had air, he'd be tearing it out. So I'm going Man United to win at full time, over 2.5 goals for Man United, and over 5.5 total mental corners for Man United.
They don't tear out Angie's hair. You get red card for that.
You would.
See the Calvert-Lewin one? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Not a red card. There you go.
Red card in the Women's Champions League for it the other day. Yeah.
Listen, we're not going back.
We're not going back there. We can't. We've made friends since.
That's all we've got time for this week on today's show. It's been absolutely brilliant. Big thanks
for coming in, Crook.
Enjoyed it.
Joining us.
Nice to be reunited.
Yeah.
But if we lose at the weekend,
he's not coming back in.
Because I came in.
Okay.
I did say he's got a bad record. He's got a very bad record at coming in here. So maybe we're better off.
He's just saying that because he don't want to come in.
This show has been sponsored by BetMGM. Remember, you can download the app or visit betmgm.co.uk. 18+. Gambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll see you on the next show.